Here I'd like to talk about a little bit more about the controls and understanding the display of the ATR121. Right now the current number that you see on display when the machine is turned on is the ambient temperature, the current temperature of the water level. When the customer brings in the water, if it's a customer that wants to use with cold water, they will need to probably heat up the water first before turning on the machine. Right now, by default, all settings are preset. The customer has the option to just increase and decrease the temperature. By default, it is set at 100, which is boiling point. If the customer needs to go higher, it's just a matter of pressing the button and letting go, and that will take on the temperature is now set to 121. So what that means is the heating elements, this particular model comes with the heating elements. Okay, that's them in the back. And what that means is the heating elements will work up to the point of 121, which is sterilization point. Once it reaches that point, the heating elements will turn off, and if it needs to come back on, if it goes lower below that 121, then it will come back on to that point. By default, we leave it at 100, which is boiling point. Customer can adjust freely. This is all that the customer needs to do. These two arrow keys, up and down. No need to touch any of the function keys or the set. The set just means you can bring it up to that and you can set it at that, but automatically it leaves that. Now that's the out 1. The out 2, if you want to go to the next position, you see the green blinking over there. If I click it again, it moves to out 2. Out 2 really doesn't do anything, so you can leave that at 0. So again, let me bring that to the out 2, just for understanding and demo purposes. You can leave this at 0 or leave it at 100 again, the same as the out 1. But in all reality, if you leave it at 0, it doesn't do nothing. So it's just the way that it's done. So once you bring it down to the 0, you can have both the out 1 and the out 2 same numbers. It makes no difference. But for now, we will leave it as default 0. Now I'm gonna set that. Okay, so as you can see, that's that. That's the temperature set for the out 1. This is the current temperature, and it'll heat up to that point. Right now, if you want to preheat the heating when the water is coming in at cold, you have to pull out the emergency stop. That is heating the water. Once it gets to the heating point that you have set, you can then start the machine. Okay, when it reaches that point, and you'll know that because the temperature will adjust. So when a customer uses hot water, it's going to take a lot less time for the heating elements to work. So if you're using cold water, the heating elements will work harder. And if you're bringing in hot water already into the tank, the heating elements will just heat up a lot less, of course. Probably, if you are able, it's best to bring in hot water, so that way the heating elements work less electricity, less power used to heat up the water. If you're okay with that, with cold water, it's fine too. It just means that you need to have this part out here and not, see, that means it's stopped. And if you want it, when it's pulled outwards, the heating elements will kick in. You're preheating the water so that it gets to the point when it does reach the level of 100 that you've preset by going up and down, then you can just press start. The machine will work for 10 minutes one direction, 10 minutes another the reverse direction, and the last cycle 10 minutes the other direction.